What if I told you that every time you mindlessly scroll on social media, you are spending something more valuable than money? If you don't have boundaries around this, you'll continue to be conditioned by the herd mentality, manipulated by algorithms, and rage baited into caring about things that have absolutely nothing to do with you or your purpose. And the way you spend your attention, that's the currency that's going to create your future. And for me, attention is the practical, everyday expression of sovereignty. And as long as your attention is owned by circumstances, algorithms, other people's opinions, OPP, if your attention is owned by external circumstances, algorithms, other people's opinions, or the need for validation even, this video is for you. My first point is think of your attention as an investment. Have you ever heard the phrase pay attention? Attention is currency. And whatever continues to have your attention, think of it like an investment that is compounding. And that investment could be beneficial for you or not beneficial. Think about how many companies pay top dollars for ads and commercials, like especially during Super Bowl weekend, especially on Super Bowl Sunday. And they compete for your attention because they know that it influences your decisions. And whatever can constantly get your attention, it shapes your beliefs, it starts shaping your emotions, it shapes your habits. And if you are not aware of this, you are being led into a herd mentality. And if you were to take a look at where your attention is being invested in, what kind of future would you have? Those beliefs, emotions, and habits, are they serving you? Are they leading you to the sovereign lifestyle that you want to live? The second point is, if you are not programming yourself, you are being programmed by the algorithm. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should scrap media, just avoid media altogether. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying to have an awareness of what's going on and be intentional with where your attention is directed or what can even get your attention. Because things that can get your attention, especially media, social media, the idea is to keep you engaged. And that type of whatever type of engagement it is, it could be helpful or harmful. And if you don't know yourself, you better believe that your algorithm studies you. It knows what your triggers are based on what can hold your attention, whether that be outrage, whether that be fear, whether that be validation or comparison. And the herd mentality will have you having a reaction just because everybody else is doing it. And when you repetitively see these things, you're being programmed. And you find that you're not choosing your thoughts. Your thoughts are actually being chosen for you based on what you respond to. And when your attention is being scattered and fragmented everywhere, there's something deeper that begins to happen that we don't even realize. And that brings us to our third point. Fragmented attention creates a fragmented life. Have you ever heard the term, I'm all over the place? Have you gotten on your phone to do one specific task and then you find yourself, 10 or 15 minutes like scrolling into something, laughing at something, crying at something, reacting to something? And when you have a easily distracted mind like that, you're not able to build a focused, purposeful, sovereign lifestyle. Like every notification interrupts your focus. It happens to me too. You may be hitting all your goals and then you look to the left or you look to the right at somebody else, and then you start comparing where you are to where they are. And that comparison makes you lose sight of your own goals. And then, to my point earlier, you become reactive instead of intentional with your energy. And one thing I want to tell you as a sovereign woman is that a sovereign woman protects access to her mind the same way you protect access to your home. Your mind is your home you take everywhere. Before we close, I want to give you a sovereign framework that will allow you to consciously be able to start filtering, that will allow you to be able to consciously start filtering things that you allow to pass through your mind. The first thing is, does it educate you? Does it inspire you toward your sovereign lifestyle? Does it align with your values? And if you don't know what your values are, I suggest you start, because they can be the anchor that helps you filter through things like this. And the last one, is this helping you become the sovereign woman you want to be? And if the answer is no, it's probably just consuming your attention instead of contributing to your sovereign lifestyle. So for the next 24 hours, I want you to pay attention to your attention. And every time you instinctively reach for that phone, and like I said, I do it too, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what am I allowing to have access to my mind? Because the woman who can master her attention can master her life. Think about it. As a woman, there may be someone, let's say for example, there's a guy who is giving you negative attention. Don't you know how to close your mind off to that attention? And you're not giving your currency or your energy to that, right? It's the same thing. If I asked you what your most valuable resource is, you would probably say your time. But we have been protecting the wrong thing. And I'm not saying that time is not valuable, but this determines how your time is spent. That's why the one thing every sovereign woman protects is not her time, but it's her attention.